We're very pleased to have all of you with us today. We have a couple of special guests, Ryan Sachs, Superintendent of Schools in Cabell County, and with him is Kim Cooper, and I can't keep up with your title. They just all changed too much.
Assistant Superintendent.
You were the principal at Milton for many years, and your dad before you. I can remember working with your dad a lot, and he was a heck of a nice guy.
I thought so.
I'm sure you did. But we're really pleased to have you with us today. At this point in time, Jim Morgan, Commissioner, will lead us in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Heavenly and mighty Father, we come to you today with thanks for the blessings that you have given us. We ask that you would be with us to guide and protect us to do your will as we seek to serve the citizens of Cabell County. Be with us, protect us, be with those who are ill from the virus and those who are combating the virus. All of which we ask in the name of your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Cabell County Commission to order. And the first item on our agenda is the approval of the regular commission agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion's been made.
Second.
It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
opposed no. Motion carries. Next item is minutes of the Board of Canvassers meeting, June 15th, 2020.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made. It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next, we have the erroneous assessments, land consolidation, split tickets, probate documentation, county clerk's probate office.
Move to approve.
Motion's been made.
Second.
It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item we have is to approve purchase orders. 298219 through 298490 and pay jackets. Monthly payments to Fifth Third for fuel card purchases. HCH drafts for weekly claims experience administration costs, Highmark. Handwritten check to Unum for $7,051.86. And a handwritten check to Guardian for $19,660.95.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item on our agenda is citizens registered to speak. And before we get into that, I have a question for our EMS director that I'd like for him to talk about for a minute and expand on a little bit. We keep hearing that they might close the Culloden Fire Department. Is there anything going on there that we need to know about?
The ambulance station or the fire department?
Ambulance,
station.
I'm sorry, ambulance station, that's,
Obviously, there were some rumors about us closing Station 1, which, let me say, first off, is very near and dear to my heart. That's the first station I literally built, and I would not close it. A while back, there was some discussion about the 24-hour shifts and the safety issues and so on. This Monday, every ambulance in Cabell County will be on 12 hours. So that removes that safety concern. Nationwide, EMS is going from 24 to 12 simply because fatigue and having accidents. So this Monday, we will switch. No station will close. The hours will be less. Everything else will remain the same. So it's very positive, in my opinion, on what we're doing.
well, I think it is. I think that's a very positive move. You wonder sometimes how all these rumors get started, but we know that they do. And I just wanted to kind of put that one to rest before it went any farther, because that's certainly not on the agenda.
I had phone calls on it, and I told them, no, we're not closing. We're gonna struggle a little bit trying to get everything up. Just to be very honest, it's just like everyone else. Police, fire, EMS, we're all struggling recruiting people. They're just not there. I mean, it's a problem. We are also working with the college to get, it's called an EMT Advance, which is an intermediate between an EMT and a paramedic, so that we can get additional training, so that we'll be able to provide a higher level of service to the public. So that's forthcoming, that starts this fall. So we're trying to address the problem. The paramedics aren't there, that's just all there is to it. They're not out to get. Hopefully, switching to 12 hours, changing to that, I'll be able to recruit some of the ones which are working 24 to work the 12-hour shifts. Basically, it works out to make it real simple, 3 days one week, 4 days the next, every other weekend you're off. So it's a very positive schedule.
Sounds like something that would be pleasing to people that are looking for a job.
I believe so, and the people seem to be really like what they asked for, and it worked out.
Sounds good.
That was
Thank
very
you so
positive.
much.
Thank you.
Did you all have any questions? Okay, thank you so much, Gordon, we appreciate it. The next person we have that's registered to speak is Matthew Morgan, and I think he's with his attorney, David Tyson. Good morning.
Good morning. I'll kind of let David lead into everything.
We are here, and I'll let Mr. Morgan explain, since Mr. Morgan's credit card was used to pay for someone else's taxes, and we wanted to bring that in front of the county commission. He has since spoken to the state auditor to the tune of $10,000, which is a lot of money for anybody, particularly a young man like Matt. And the auditor says, Mr. Rubenstein? Rollison, I'm sorry, changed his name. Mr. Rollison said that the sheriff is responsible and is liable. So we wanted to bring that to your all's attention.
Appreciate that.
Anything else you wanted to add? There is also a civil judgment against the person who did this. And we have a writ of execution that was issued 6 months ago. And as of this day, as we stand here today, nothing has been done. So he's getting hit from all sides.
Sounds like it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank
We
you.
appreciate you bringing that to our attention.
Okay.
Do you have something to execute on?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we do. And it's at the sheriff's department. I've checked on it twice, and I know there's a backlog, but 6 months is a long period of time.
Okay,
Okay?
thank
Thanks.
you.
Do you have a written documentation from, you said you talked to the auditor?
We don't have written documentation. I believe Matt's provided you the name and phone number to talk to him. If you want something in writing, we can get something in writing from the auditor. That's not a problem, I understand. Is that what you want? or-
Well, I was just asking, you had something in your hand, and I was asking if,
That's a file from downstairs in
Oh,
Vegas
okay.
Court. I have multiple things this morning. But no, the auditor, that's the auditor's name, even though I screwed it up. And I know you have the phone number. I didn't know if you had talked to him or not. I thought you had talked to him already. But if you want something in writing, we can get something in writing from the auditor.
I just wondered.
Is that what you would like, or
I think that would be.
would that
better.
help, Bill? I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
We'll get some from McCuskey's office, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're done.
That's the only person we have registered to speak. Is there anyone here that would like to talk about anything that's not already on our agenda? You have this opportunity to do so. Okay, if not, then we'll move right on. And the first item is the granting a petition for probate of a lost will in the estate of Glenn Smith.
Yes, Commissioners, I'm here to
Okay.
represent that.
Identify yourself.
Sure.
Identify.
Of course, my name is actually Haley Johnson.
Oh,
I'm working with Miss Anna Price on this case as well. Both of us are doing it. I'm an attorney at Jenkins Spencer Maker, and I'm here today representing the petitioner, Glenn Eraser, who is here in the front row with us today. And, yes, we're here to ask you to grant that a copy of the last will and testament of Glenn Smith be probated in place of the original will. I would be happy to explain it further. May I take this time to kind of explain the facts of the situation?
Have you,
I've reviewed both the petition, the will, and the exhibits, and it seems that, based on the affidavits of the people, that the deceased never intended to change her will. It apparently had either been misplaced or lost. And so given the facts of this particular matter, it would be appropriate to allow a copy of the will, which is been witnessed and notarized, to be presented to probate in lieu of the original. And I would recommend that we do that.
Okay, thank you.
I read
Do
the
you have any-
documentation and I would move.
Okay, we have a motion to do that.
Second.
We have a second. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I actually have an order here with me today that I can present to you right now that you can sign.
Well, let's, is there any discussion on the matter? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. So we can do that now.
Okay, perfect, sure. And would you guys like to sign that now and me take it down to get it filed, or would you like to file it later? However you want to do it, I'm happy to do so.
What we'll do is submit it to the secretary here,
Okay.
and you can pick it up downstairs in the
Okay.
clerk's office.
Okay, will that be happen after this
Right.
commission hearing? Okay, perfect. All right, thank you very much.
Uh-huh, and thank you.
Thank you.
Very good, Jim. Okay, the next item on our agenda is a presentation by Ryan Sachs, Superintendent of Cabell County Schools, concerning the new school bond levy, which is to be held in August. And we'll let Mr. Sachs talk to us about that at this time. Thank you so much for being here. We do appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity. Commissioners, I have a
Picture book?
picture book.
We're better with pictures.
That's okay.
So thank you for, Commissioners, for the opportunity to speak to you today regarding a proposed bond levy that we are asking the voters to consider on August 22nd, which is a special election. Really, what has gotten us to this point is we have been completing our comprehensive educational facilities plan, which is a 10-year plan for all of our facilities in Cabell County. And through that process, we've engaged literally hundreds of stakeholders throughout the community, parents, students, administrators, teachers, and service personnel, since October, around where they feel some of our priorities need to be when we're considering where our facilities are going to be in the next 30 or 40 years. Because what we do over the next 10 years really has to last us. I often talk about it's hard to believe, but Huntington High School and Cabell Midland High School are nearing 30 years of age. And as a student who grew up in Cabell County and seeing those walls erected, it's hard to believe it's been that long. But when a building gets to that age, we have to start considering what updates need to be made to HVAC, windows, roofs, and those types of things. And in Cabell County, we actually have several schools, elementary schools, that were built before 1945. And so as we've gone through this process, one of the things that our stakeholders and our board have communicated loud and clear are several different priorities as we look to the next 10 years of facility improvements. The first is no school consolidations. There are no school consolidations slated for the next 10 years in Cabell County. And that's because we believe in the power of small community-based schools, especially at the elementary level. And so we want to be able to continue being able to fund those schools and to make sure that those schools' facilities are addressed. We also need to make sure we're addressing our outdated facilities. As I mentioned, we have several elementary schools that were built before 1945, 9 that were built before 1975. And so we need to make sure that we are updating those facilities to keep them current so that students have a safe and comfortable place to be able to learn every day. The third item is to make sure that we're addressing any of our schools that don't have safe school entrances. So you may be asking, well, what is a safe school entrance? A safe school entrance is a single point of entry where when you have a visitor, they don't have access to the entire building without sort of being screened by an adult and then being buzzed into the rest of the building. All of our new facilities that have been built within the last 15 years have safe school entrances, and we've also been, over the past 3 years, adding safe school entrances to some of our facilities. But we know that we need to continue to work on that with many of our schools. And then finally is to be able to modernize and expand our career and technical education opportunities for our students as well as our adult learners in the community. The Cabell County Career and Technology Center was built in 1981 and has really not had any significant renovations to that facility or the ability to expand programs. In the past 3 years, the enrollment at the Career Center has tripled. We are now at capacity without any room to actually expand our programs or to expand the enrollment for students that would want to utilize that school. So as we transition from the facility plan to how are we going to pay for it, that's sort of what has led us to today, where we are proposing this special election bond. It's very important to note that the bond that went to construct, the 2006 bond that went to construct Milton Middle School, Barbersville Middle School, Huntington Middle School, and Southside Elementary, as well as Martha Elementary, is getting ready to be paid off at the end of this year. And so this is one of the reasons that we want to be able to bring a new 2020 bond because we will have paid that 2006 bond off. In addition, it's also very important to note that because of the 2006 bond being approved and us being able to do those facilities, it allowed through financial planning for the district to also build a new Huntington East Middle School, a significant renovation to Culloden Elementary, a renovation to construct a new Explorer Academy, as well as add a safe school entrance to Altizer, Spring Hill, and then of course the new Highland Elementary along 3rd Avenue that's slated to open this fall. Without the 2006 bond being approved, these projects would never have happened. And the same thing applies that for the 2020 bond, while we have other projects slated over the next 10 years, the passage of the 2020 bond will allow these other projects to be accomplished over the next 10 years as well. But what's to be included in this 2020 bond? The first is renovations to include but not limited to but are not limited to safe school entrances at both Huntington High School and Cabell Midland High School. Both of those schools were built, again, nearing 30 years ago, and they were not built with the single safe school entrance thought in mind. So we really feel that that's a huge, important step because all of our students in Cabell County, all nearly 13,000 students funnel between those two schools at some point in their educational career. Renovations to Nichols Elementary and Height Saunders Elementary, which would include a safe school entrance at Nichols, sprinkler systems, new HVAC, roof, and windows. At Height Saunders, we've already added a safe school entrance this past year, so but that school is still in need of a sprinkler system, new windows, doors, roof, and HVAC as well. Both of those schools currently have just window units and older windows that are very drafty, and so those schools are really in need of some attention. The bigger projects, though, include a new Meadows Elementary to be either built on its current site or relocated to another site within the district. A new Davis Creek Elementary School along alternate Route 10, which would be replaced at a different site. And if I can get my page to work here. A new Milton Elementary School. Milton Elementary School is the largest of the elementary school projects because it houses the most students, and that would be replaced at its current site or possibly at the old Milton Middle School site where the Milton Pre-K Center is located. That site becomes especially attractive because of the fact that the new flood wall will be coming in, and that changes the flood area, and of course it's in closer proximity to Route 60, and it has a little bit better site layout if that was the choice. And then finally is the one project that I'm really excited about also, and that is the expansion of career and technical education and modernizing our career and technical programs to the 21st century. One of the proposals here, though, is to either to renovate the current site or to move the Career and Technical Education Center to another location. One of the issues that we have with its current location is that while the Cabell County Career Technology Center sits on 45 acres, I call it 45 West Virginia acres, because we all know that just because you have 45 acres in West Virginia doesn't mean you can actually build on 45 acres. And so the problem with this center is that really the amount of room to add on and expand would go into the parking lot area, and then it would significantly limit how much parking we would have as we expand programs too. So it's sort of a double-edged sword. One of the solutions, though, that we believe is really exciting is the possibility to relocate the Cabell County Career and Technology Center to the former Sears building at the Huntington Mall. We believe that this will not only relocate the Career Center to a much more centrally located area of the county between our two high schools, but it is going to elevate and put front and center career and technical certification program options for our community and for our students. For a long time, career and technical education has not been something that has always been promoted to the fullest extent for our students, because we've in the traditional educational sense, we've been pushing college. We still think that college is extremely important, but we also know that there are very high-paying, high-quality jobs in the career and technical field, and we want to make sure our students see that those options exist, as well as our potential adult learners in the community. So the question becomes, with all these projects, how much are we talking? So we're asking the voters to consider an $87.5 million bond sale. This 87.5 would also be added to with $10 million from our county funds and potentially $10 million from the School Building Authority. We've had significant conversations with them, and they feel that if the county is able to approve this bond and the school district's putting in $10 million as well, then they would be able to match that $10 million for the construction of a facility. It's also important to note that with this totality of projects equaling $107 million, that the total economic impact based upon the research from the West Virginia Contractors Association would be approximately $321 million to the local economy over the next 18 to 24 months of construction for those projects. So again, we think that the economic impact of being able to do this at this time is of high benefit to our community as well. So when we're talking about dollars and cents, though, one of the strong things about where we are today is that interest rates are at an all-time low. And the 2006 bond was sold at 5% back in 2006 after approved. Current interest rates that we're looking at are around 2.5%. And so what does that mean on an $87.5 million bond? For a homeowner that owns a $100,000 home, they would be looking at approximately $6.29 per month, or $75.48 per year. However, as we know, we have many families that have homestead exemption property. In that case, it would be $4.19 per month, or $50.32 per year on that $100,000 home. At the highest possible interest rate that we think could happen, which is at 5%, and that would be $90 per year on that $100,000 home, or $60 on that homesteaded property. So one of the advantages of making sure that we have a special election is that we're able to take advantage of the low interest rates right now, because that's going to provide a better return on the taxpayer investment, and in order to really infuse these projects, the jobs that are going to create, and the stimulus to the local economy to get these projects off the ground. And so with that being said, we will be hosting several virtual bond presentations in the next several weeks. The first one is actually next Monday for our community to be able to engage on the totality of the bonds. And then subsequent weeks, we will have smaller presentations regarding each individual project so the community can ask questions. So I want to thank the commission for allowing me some time to speak this afternoon, and would love to entertain any questions that you may have. And we would definitely appreciate your support of the 2020 bond for Cabell County Schools.
Do you all have any questions that you'd like to
You
ask?
do the Sears project, for lack of a better term, what happens to the old CTC?
That's a great question. And before I answer that, I also want to say that the Sears is just an option that we are considering.
Yeah.
As with any of these projects, people may have heard, that there's one site being considered and so on and so forth. But really, these are just options that we have, so that if the bond is passed, we're going to engage the community more to make sure that we're picking the right site for the community as well. But the question that you have, sir, is what would happen to the existing career and technical education facility? We envision moving our Crossroads Academy, which is our alternative school, which is located in the old Huntington East Trade School building, which is at our current board office. It is an older facility. It does not have an elevator. And so we think that we would be able to move that school to the Career Technical Center, which also helps move it a little bit more centrally into the county. In addition, we would probably move our maintenance and operations department, our snow removal crews, our construction workers, food service, to the Career Technical Center because of all the high bay areas that they have. The old Huntington East Trade School is a significantly old it's an older building, and it would be time for us to try to find another location for it. And so it really fits the bill there.
Okay, anything else?
Has there been further discussion with the Cafera Group or Sears on the?
There has not been further discussions with Sears. I did actually have a conversation with Mr. Cafera last night, and we're having a meeting today at 2 o'clock. So.
The payment to your $100,000 would be less to the taxpayer with the new bonds, is that correct?
Well, not exactly. While it's still an existing bond,
Right.
we refinanced the 2006 bond in 2014 at a lower interest rate, which brought the tax down for that $100,000 property. The taxpayer's paying probably around, it's like $58 or $59 per year on that $100,000 home. So it is slightly more, but that's because we refinanced the old bond.
Which is always a smart thing to do.
Yes, absolutely. We were able to, actually, with the refinancing, we were able to add on to Barbersville Middle School, add on to Martha. We were able to add a second story to Southside Elementary, as well as the Milton Football Athletic Field Complex.
This might be a question for the clerk, but what about the polling places? Can you reduce the number of polling places and combine them? Because it was so hard to try to find poll workers in the primary election because of COVID. I don't know if that will still be an issue. Do we have to have all the precincts that we have in the primary open? Or can we consolidate for this special election?
You can to a point. I mean, they just consolidated in another county and they had some issues. So I don't want to make it a big thing to consolidate polling places. What we did was, in the polling places this time, where if there was 2 or 3 precincts in one, and there wasn't enough poll workers, they worked together, which was wonderful, and got through the elections.
Perhaps Dr. Sachs could recruit some teachers to be
I
poll
have
workers.
actually been seeing some contacts go around trying to recruit some people, some teachers. And I must say, from the get-go, Phyllis and her staff have been number one to work with. I'm telling you, I was really nervous to come to her and say, oh, hey, so we're thinking about this, and they have just been the consummate professionals. They have never said, no, we can't do something. It was like, well, let's see what we can do. And I really do appreciate that. It's been very reassuring for me, this being the first time I've ever done anything like this. And I definitely appreciate your expertise and your help.
I'd like to mention too, I think you got a call from the Secretary of State's office yesterday about PPE or somewhere.
Well, what we had was a person come in and complain because she didn't have enough
Saying she
on
didn't have
election day.
Right,
And I was asking, is there going to be anything this time?
right, and the resources we've been getting, from state supplies, are about to dry up, so we need to be thinking about this election and the fall election, and getting stocked up for that. Something to keep in mind.
And I would think that because of the special election, that issue would be, the burden would be on us to pay for those things.
Okay,
So,
that'd be great.
so for the special election, I would think for those poll workers, we would need to do that.
Okay, that'd be great.
Anything else? Anybody in the audience have any questions? If not, we do appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so
That's
much,
wonderful.
Cheryl.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Will we sometime decide whether we're going to support this or not, or as a commission?
That'll be left up to you all.
We have more meetings before the election.
Yes, we do, yeah. We sure do. Okay, moving on, we have a letter from Chuck Zirkle, the Cabell County Sheriff, list of real estate and other taxes delinquent for 2019. That's a mighty thick book over there.
Well, it's a big bunch of money right there.
I know.
Right now, our current numbers are 9,783,562 in delinquent. 6,485,000 in real estate, 3,298,000 is personal, which, what we published today, once people start seeing their name in the paper, that should diminish. And then, of course, with the real estate, if they don't pay by November, we'll sell. The personal side, a lot of that will be picked up, and then, people that are doing our collections are doing a great job outside of that too, so, they're collecting some, we just settled that Longhorn mess for $139,000. So we're doing a good job for us, so I think between both of it, we'll do pretty good, clean it up, we always do. But there's still some that's just not gonna get.
Any comparison to this time last
year,
fall?
Yeah, it's 68,000 less than it was last year. So it's a little bit less, but it's not a lot. And the tax collections are still, they're up, they're still on a spike. This June was doing really well. We were behind 27%, 21%. And last month, we caught up in May pretty good. And then we're continuously doing better this month too.
Do we have any reports so far from the folks who are collecting delinquent taxes as to how much they've collected?
Yeah, they provided one, not too long ago, maybe a month ago. Like,
Yeah, just a month, so, yeah, they didn't.
I don't remember seeing that.
They've,
yeah.
it's been really well, they've done a really good job, and, they wanted to wait until they had a decent amount of money to report before they asked for payment.
Right, yeah, they haven't paid me, but they provided a report. I'll
Yeah,
get it.
we can get those.
I'll get you another one.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Sheriff. Moving on, we have discussion and action on setting a date and time for trick or treat. And I think the date's gonna be Thursday, October 29th, from 6 to 8.
Just picked it. That's all right, you all.
Subject to
Have
inclement
trouble-
weather.
Have trouble with, Wednesday nights is the problem, or weekend nights, so. The 29th, it's up to you all. Pardon me?
They'll be back outside of the courthouse this time.
Well,
That's
weather
our
permitting. Weather permitting.
It was quite a debacle last time, so let's hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
Okay,
Move to approve.
motion's been made,
Second.
seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I don't think we, did you vote on the?
There's nothing there that says we take action. It was just a letter,
Okay.
the list from the sheriff. We can vote to accept it if you'd like.
I didn't know if you needed to.
I mean, you can,
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be probably appropriate.
okay. If you'd like to do that, we certainly can.
Move to accept.
Motion's been made to accept the letter from Chuck Zirkle, which isn't a letter, it's a huge book.
Second.
Has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next, we have another letter from Irv Johnson, and he wants to disperse from the dog fund the amount of $15,000 to the Cabell Huntington Wayne Animal Shelter.
Commissioners, I received a letter from Director Courtney Cross, 1st of June, requesting these funds. I think the timing of this is very well, in that a lot of times people ask, why do we pay tax on dogs? And this is an example of the good work that comes from those tags that we sell. People will be asked to turn their dogs in starting July again this year. She sent a couple employees to represent her. If you have questions for them. They need just some outstanding bills, and that shelter is, I think, vastly improved in the last few years in terms of finances. So I'm very honored to ask you all to distribute those funds.
There's been a lot of upgrades made to the shelter. They've done a tremendous job there. And most of the money's been raised through fundraisers to do all of that work, which that requires work just to get the money to do more work. But I think the shelter's in great shape and better than it's been in a mighty long time, or maybe even ever.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you all for being here. We have a resolution, advertisement for bids to replace the roof at the warehouse for voters' storage at 828 8th Avenue.
Wes received one quote already, and it was like over $27,000, so putting it out to bid.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Motion's been made,
Second.
it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is a resolution in the matter of authorizing the President of the Commission to accept a CARES sub-grant award as a HAVA sub-grant agreement in the amount of $38,632.95.
Chad's on vacation, but this is, the HAVA grant out of the Secretary of State's office. It's all under the CARES Act though. And this was the first application the county clerk's office made for the election, reimbursement on election expenses, and it has been granted. And so this is, you all accepting that first award.
Just offer us money, we'll accept it.
Yes.
Okay.
Approve.
Motion's been made,
Second.
has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion carries. In the matter of a resolution authorizing the filing of monthly applications for CARES Act reimbursements of COVID-19 related expenses.
This is a general resolution just authorizing us to be able to apply for those grants monthly under the CARES Act.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
no. Motion carries. Next, we have a letter resolution grant application from the West Virginia Secretary of State HAVA CARES Act grant application, $68,045.85.
This is actually the third application under the HAVA grants for the county clerk's office for the primary election. And it's for $68,045.85. There was a second application made, we haven't got the results on that one yet, but it was like 40-some thousand, I believe. But this one is the $68,045. Do you think we'll be doing another one on this election, or we'll just probably be it?
On this,
On the primary?
this probably takes care of it. I don't know for sure, but we had two bills coming from Preston and Harris, and it was like $50-some thousand.
Oh, after this one?
No, I think that may be what this is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion's
Second.
been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
no. Motion carries. Next, we have a resolution would be for the reclassification of Nicholas Tate per diem EMT, Kevin Connor, Assistant Supervisor to Supervisor, full-time. Felicia Powles, full-time paramedic, and Patrick Estep, full-time EMT.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next, we have a letter from Mike Davis, Director of 911. He'd like to donate a vehicle to the Ona Fire Department. It's a Dodge Durango 2004 model. I don't think you need the VIN number.
Yes, ma'am, we've had this one for a while. I think it was a hand-me-down we got from the assessor's office years ago. I was driving it up until not too long ago, and I upgraded to a 2004, or 2006. But this one's been sitting in our parking lot for quite some time. We had some work done on it last year, and the county garage in Gordon, we talked, and it's just not worth any more money to put into it. Owner has requested a vehicle, and we feel like we could provide this for them.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Motion's been made. It's
Second.
been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Next, we have the 2020 quarterly federal excise tax return, Form 720, Pecoria fee and tax.
Yes, this was a fee that was implemented when Obamacare began, and it was supposed to only go 4 years, I think. And the current administration, I guess, saw the need to extend it. So, we thought we were done with it, but we're not. And it's on a self-insured program, and we were still self-insured for 7 months last year, last calendar year. And it's $2.45 per life on the plan. We averaged 715 people on our plan last year. So that, the fee due from the county for the 2019 plan year would be $1,751.75.
How much? I don't have it in front of me.
$1,751.75.
So moved.
Motion's been made,
Second.
has been seconded. Is there any discussion?
Will that go away now that we're not self-insured, or what?
Yes.
Okay.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I oppose no, motion carries. Resolution in the matter of the pledging of temporary letters of credit by West Banco.
So moved.
Motion's been made,
Second.
it's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no, motion carries. Next, we have the appointment of Nancy Cartmill to the Campbell County Solid Waste Authority.
Move
Do
to
we know
approve.
this person?
I'd be leery of her. I served an unexpired term on that board for a few months one time.
You know your friends there.
He's my best friend. I have a card to prove it.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Aye.
Motion carries. The reappointment of Bud Daniels to the Cabell County Planning Commission.
Move to approve.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. And we have a letter of partials to be zeroed out by the Cabell County Tax Office for the year 2020. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, it's just basically some housekeeping that needs done, on these exonerations and stuff. We're trying to get ahead of it so that we don't send out stuff that's going to cause panic, and we send it out and then exonerate, and we're trying to get ahead of it, and clear it up, zero it before we send the bills. So it's less stressful on us and the taxpayers.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion's
Second.
been made, it's been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. We need to place on record other documentation to be recorded. Frontier Communications Corporation, notice of Chapter 11 bankruptcy case. PSC of West Virginia, Charleston, General Order Number 18755 in the matter of rules governing emergency telephone services, to provide guidance regarding E911 fee billing requirements.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made, it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
no. Motion carries. Do we have any commissioners' representation reports? Hearing none, we'll move on to the good and welfare of Cabell County.
I got one quick thing.
Okay.
Tuesday, 9 o'clock, National Guard will come down and in service on the decon machine.
All right.
Chuck, you get that? You gotta make sure you're there.
You gotta know
Where?
how to use that.
Where?
846 8th Avenue, my office. Second floor, big training room.
So you'll have a clean office.
We're gonna learn.
I noticed that the Board of Education was buying one to do the school buses with. So,
Didn't it?
yeah, I think it's a bigger one, but I wouldn't swear to it.
Well, they're trying, Colonel Hatfield was very nice, and he's sending down a couple people to try to educate.
They've been very good to work with, haven't they?
They really have, and like I said, he's a Milton boy, which makes things very nice. I know him, and he's been
That's cool.
very supportive. Anything we've asked for, they've done.
That's
They stayed
wonderful.
2 weeks doing buses and ambulances for me. It's just been great support from them.
You can't beat that. Okay, is there anything else for the good and welfare of Cabell County? Hearing none, if there's nothing else to come before the meeting, we will adjourn as soon as we sign the necessary paperwork. Thank you all so much for being here.
It's Tuesday the 30th.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.